And let's do just a few rounds of the hip circles from the hip strengthening series. So you're going to start with your right leg. So just lift your right foot off the ground slightly and bring it into that Barbie foot, right? Pressing out through the ball toe mound. Yeah. Then we're going to start with the outward circle first. So keeping everything neutral, pushing the ground away, spreading your shoulder blades, engaging your core, bring your right knee in towards chest, then out to the side, keep that Barbie foot the whole time, then start to straighten that right leg, and then bring it back in towards your chest, out to the side, straighten that back leg. 2 down, 1 to go, 1 more on your own. Yep. Yes, lovely, lovely. And then come on down. All right, now let's change directions. Okay, so before we go into the second side, here's the main thing that I am seeing from people that you want to adjust is that when you take this leg out to the side and you start straightening it, you want to end up with the knees and the toes pointing down. Don't end up this way and then come back in. Okay, let's go for it. Yep, so don't keep the knee pointing outward. You have to end with it back down. Toes pointing down, knee pointing down. All right, let's go for it. So make that Barbie foot on your left foot. Bring the knee in towards chest. Take it out to the side. And as you start to straighten your leg, internally rotate. So the knee's pointing down. Do 3 on this side. Try and keep everything else as solid and still as you can. Yeah. Yeah, good, good. And then come on back to neutral. Okay, and then just watch. So you can sit comfortably. This gives you a break off your wrist too. So we're going to do a little core exercise before we do our second set of circles. So the core exercise is this. You just let your knees come off the ground, just barely. Not this. This is actually way easier and is not really about core anymore. So how much can you keep your knees just hovering off the ground? We're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Okay, so push the ground away from you. Keep your inner elbows facing each other and spread your shoulder blades just like it's a plank. And then just barely lift your knees off the ground. So maybe you lift them off the ground a lot and then you lower them till they're just hovering. See if you can go a little bit lower with your knees as you push the ground away from you. 15 more seconds, everybody. Hug your hip bones towards each other. Whitney, spread your shoulder blades. You've lost that. And then exhaling, come on down. Whoo. So that's a nice multitasker of core work, but also the upper body work of plank. All right, so now let's go to our inner circles. So just watch, because again, this one is the one where it gets a little tricky. So Barbie foot, and then it's straight back with the leg, not this with the leg, right? Straight back, then rotate, take it out to the side, bring it into your chest, and straight back. Remember, if you hear any clicks or repetitive thunks, you're making your circle smaller. Maybe you're not straightening your leg completely. So let's do 3 on each side. So pick your right foot up as that little Barbie foot and then stretch it straight back. Take it out to the side, in towards your chest, and then back again. Yeah. Press more through the ball toe mound than through your heel. So yeah, a little more Barbie foot, Mara. Yeah, yeah. Once you've finished your 3 on the right side, then 3 on the left side. Press through the ball toe mounds, draw your toes back towards the top of your foot. This is looking good. Yeah, good. Claudia, I hope this feels okay. Okay, good, good. Isn't it interesting now one side you're just like, is this still my leg? Do I have control over this? Don't lift your hips so much, Mira. Yeah, exactly. Keep your hip just as it is. Yeah. Yeah, don't lift it. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Just a question, Letitia. So
Yes.
the toes are always pointing down. They don't change at all. Not even if you take this leg out to the side.
Oh, no, they do rotate when you go out to the side, but people tend to skip over pointing down towards the ground.
So when you pull it in, then do the toes point down or not?
When you pull it in, either direction this way, the toes should be pointing down. When you take the leg out to the side, then that's when the knee starts to go out to the side. But it really should only be a 90-degree out to the side from your body when it hits that point.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
And at that point out, the toes are going back down.
The moment that you hit that sort of crest of the knee pointing out and the toes staying in line with the knee, once you bring that knee back in towards your chest, then your toes will start pointing down again. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want to say something, Whitney?
I was just going to say, if you think about it moving exclusively from the hip and kind of just leave your foot neutral while you're moving from the hip, the foot will do the thing that it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're not moving, if you're doing nothing with your ankle at all, the foot stays oriented the way it's supposed to be.
Did you hear Whitney? Or do you want me to repeat it?
It would be nice, only half, only half.
So think about it only happening from your hip, and the knee and the foot and the ankle are all in a neutral sort of Tadasana position. But as the leg moves in the hip socket, then the knee and the foot change position. But people tend to have a compensation pattern of doing it with the foot and the ankle instead of doing it with the hip joint.
Yeah, it's hip strengthening. It's not
Ankle flexibility.
Working, foot working.
Yeah.
Think about it coming from the hip and everything makes more sense.
Yeah, great. Beautiful.
Right with the hip, not with the foot.
Yeah, good. Good. Yes. Okay. So the first movement, you go into the chest first, then out to the side, then straighten the leg. The second movement, you straighten the leg, then go out to the side, then come into your chest. Yeah, but you got to keep the Barbie foot going. Okay, so now let's do one more piece of core work before we go to our standing poses. So watch. I only do this well on one side, so I'm just letting you get to see what to do and what not to do simultaneously in the demo. All right, so you're going to go back into that lifted, just watch this whole thing. You're going to go back into that lifted position with your knees again, but I'm showing you from the front because we're going to add in work with the arms. I like to take my feet a little bit wider and my hands a little bit more narrow because we're going to just tap our shoulders. Do you see how I like to really let my hips shift on that second side? See if you can not shift. Let's see if you can do 10 shoulder taps. And maybe it's just, I'm lifting my hand, right? Yeah, knees at that same height, just barely hovering. Okay, let's give it a go. So push the ground away from you, spread your shoulder blades, knees, low, 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 low. Lower your knees, Mira. Yeah, there you go. That's fine too. And you can just hold, right? You can just hold. You can just hold. Don't shift your hips to the best of your ability. Keep your knees lower. Everybody, lower your knees. Woo! And then come on down. So there, I really like working on that piece of core work in conjunction with the hip strengthening circles on the hands and knees, because it really helps train the core that is necessary to support the circles without moving your hips around. Okay, downward facing dog, everybody. Yeah, yeah. And over time, what happens is you're like, oh, this is easy, this is easy, this is easy. Yeah, yeah. Because now your knees are 6 inches off the ground. So if you can keep your knees a ½ inch off the ground, that's when you're really tapping in. All right, so press down through the base of your index finger and thumb. Lift your sitting bones up and back and up and back and up and back. Engage your quadriceps. Lift your sitting bones up and your heels down. Take one more breath. And then inhaling, look up. And exhaling, walk, step, or jump your feet towards your hands. Bend your knees, bring your hands together. Inhaling, come all the way up. Exhaling, take the arms out to the side. Inhaling, bring your hands back to your heart. Let's do one round of Surya Namaskar. So if you'd like to have blocks or a blanket or any of your things, bring it in place. Would anyone in the room like a fan going? Feeling okay? Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. So stand at the head of the mat. Bring your hands towards your heart center. Keep the weight in your heels. Lift the bottom of your belly. And then exhaling, look into your heart. Inhaling, shift the hips forward. Take the arms up and back. Exhaling, bend the knees deeply as you forward fold. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, step your right leg back. Take the right knee down. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, step back into Palakasana, plank pose. Push the ground away from you. Spread your shoulder blades, engage your core. And then exhaling, drop down, Ashtanga Namaskar, knees first, then chest and chin. Point your toes back when you land, slide your chest forward. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, look into your heart. Press the pinky toe side of your foot down. Contract the quadriceps. Lift the bottom of your belly. Inhaling, come on up into Bhujangasana. Draw your shoulder blades down towards your waist. Exhaling, curl the toes under. Lift the hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, step your right leg forward. Take the left knee down. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, step the rear leg forward. Bend your knees, bring your hands together. Inhaling, come up and back. Exhaling, bring the hands back to the heart. Inhaling, take the arms back up again. Exhaling, bend the knees as you forward fold. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, step your left leg back. Take the left knee down. Take the hands up onto the thigh. Sink the hips forward and downward. Lift the bottom of the belly up, look up. Exhaling, step back into Palakasana, plank pose. Inhale. Exhaling, drop down, Ashtanga Namaskar, knees, chest, and chin. Yeah, awesome. Point your toes back once you land. Inhaling, slide the chest forward. Perhaps lift your arms and your legs. Exhaling, take arms and legs down. Keep the shoulders lifted, look into your heart. Inhaling, lift the bottom of the belly up, come into Bhujangasana. Exhaling, curl the exhaling. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Everybody was already there, so that I was confused about what I was doing. All right, inhaling, look up. Exhaling, left leg forward, right knee down. Multitasking in my mind. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, step your right leg forward. Bend your knees deeply, bring your hands together. Inhaling, come all the way up and back. And exhaling, bring your hands down to your heart. Okay,